Vocabulary, context clues. Have you ever found yourself reading and being confused by what you're reading, or not knowing what a word means? You need to use context clues to help. Context clues are information or clues to help a reader figure out the meaning of a new word. Authors often include more complex words to grow our vocabulary and enhance their story, but they build in ways to help you know that word without having to look it up in a dictionary. These are the context clues, and you can use them to conquer the meaning of these new words. We can use pictures or word parts, such as a prefix or a suffix, to understand complex words. But we'll look at 4 other ways to conquer the meaning of new words. One way to use context clues is to see if the author has included the definition. The old dog was quite feeble after the long walk. He was so tired and weak. Do you see how the definition was included in the next sentence, where it says he was so tired and weak? So we can see that feeble must mean tired and weak. They put the definition right there. Another way we see context clues is by noticing a synonym of that word within the sentence. Synonym is a word that means the same thing. So here it says the old dog was quite feeble and weak after the long walk. Do you see how the author added the synonym and weak in the sentence to help you know what feeble means? Authors sometimes even add antonyms or opposites. The old dog was quite feeble after the long walk and not strong as he used to be. So here we can see the author is trying to tell us that the dog was not strong, so he was the opposite of strong. Another way is through examples. The old dog was quite feeble after the long walk. He laid down and took a nap all afternoon. This sentence shows through the example that he spent the afternoon sleeping and that he was very tired. Now, let's practice these clues with a variety of sentences and see if you can use the context clues to figure out the unknown words. To start with, I'll use regular words that you may or may not have heard, but we'll end with extra tricky made-up words at the end. So you really have to use context to figure out what the word means then. Here we go. When I woke up this morning, I felt so sluggish. It took me 10 minutes just to get out of bed. What do you think sluggish means? How do you know? I might say sluggish means slow and tired because it took them 10 minutes to get out of bed. Let's look at another one. There was so much commotion going on, I had to leave because I like peace and quiet. What do you think commotion means? Did you notice the antonym, they like peace and quiet, helps us to know that, what's the opposite of peace and quiet? Maybe loud or noisy? Is that what you said? She decided to withdraw or remove herself from the race. Here they give the definition or a synonym of what withdraw means. So we might say withdraw means remove or leave. The class celebrated when they reached the summit of the mountain. The view was amazing. What do you think summit means? There are some clues. They celebrated and the view was amazing on the mountain, so summit must be the top. It is essential that we have water. We would not survive without it. This says we would not survive without it. So what would essential mean? Maybe necessary or needed? Jim was worried he would be mocked or made fun of for being the slowest runner. What do you think mocked means? What clues do you see? Do you see the definition right there, made fun of? So mocked must mean that or teased. She had a considerable amount of homework, but her sister didn't have any. This one gives an antonym, so her sister didn't have any, but the first girl had the opposite of that. So what would considerable mean? Maybe large or a lot, right? Now, if you're up for a little more of a challenge, let's do a few made-up words that you have not heard of, and the only way to know what these words mean is to use the context clues. The Blapple child stole candy when no one was looking. Just using the context clues, what do you think Blapple means? The context clues that it's someone who stole when no one was looking might tell us that Blapple means sneaky, selfish, greedy, or you might even say naughty. Let's try another one. The sun quickly clummed when the storm clouds rolled in. What do you think clummed means? It tells us something happened to the sun when the storm clouds rolled in. So clummed must be maybe faded or disappeared. Is that what you thought? When I walked outside, I started chafing and my shirt felt wet because it was so hot outside. What do you think chafing could mean? Some clues are that it was hot outside and my shirt felt wet. So you might have thought rain, but maybe it's actually sweating or perspiring. That was a tough one. Let's do one last one. We were only able to play chankly because we ran out of time and had to go home. Chankly. What do you think? Some context clues are that they could only play chankly and that they ran out of time and had to go home. So, chankly might mean briefly or quickly. All right, those were tough. Luckily, real reading has real words. But remember to look for those context clues when you come across a new word, and you can probably figure out what it means.